At our 21st wedding anniversary, I heard her before I saw her. Can you believe he still thinks they're his kids? A soft laugh followed. Her voice. My wife's voice. Then came his. Daniel's voice. My best friend. And with all the money he's poured into their schools and trips, we couldn't have done it better ourselves. The glass in my hand felt cold. Music floated through the air. My chest wasn't pounding. It was still, completely still. I stepped closer, unseen for now, and caught my oldest daughter leaning toward Daniel, winking. Yeah, Uncle Daniel is way more fun than our loser dad. I didn't drop the glass. I didn't rush in screaming. I didn't break down. Instead, I walked to the DJ, asked him to cut the music, and took the microphone. Party's over. My voice was calm, and somehow that quietness scared them more than fury would have. That same night, I called my lawyer. By morning, the divorce papers were filed. My will was rewritten, inheritance revoked, and every asset locked down. By the following evening, I was gone. I had met Daniel when I was 22. We were broke, chasing dreams, sharing cheap whiskey in cramped apartments. I thought loyalty was our shared language. A year later, I met her. Her smile could light an entire room. I introduced them, and soon the three of us were inseparable. Daniel was my best man when I married her. He was there when our children were born. He celebrated every success of my business. Back then, I thought his closeness was brotherhood. But 2 years before that anniversary, the cracks began to show. Whispers that stopped when I walked into a room. Her phone turned face down on the table. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. Daniel showing up when I wasn't home. The kids talking about weekends I didn't remember approving. Once I asked her why the girls seemed distant, and she smiled too quickly. Teenagers, honey. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe us. The night I heard them whispering about me, something inside me changed. I wasn't going to be the man who begged, cried, or shouted. No, they had taken enough from me. I would take something from them. They could never recover. While she slept that night, I opened my safe and pulled out the external drives, contracts, passwords, every thread that tied to our finances. Over the next few months, I quietly rewired my entire life. They thought my late nights were spent working. In reality, I was waging war. I moved accounts offshore, shifted property titles into hidden trusts, liquidated stocks, bought gold and cash, and even changed life insurance beneficiaries long before they could challenge it. When the divorce came, I had more than enough evidence to sway the court. No alimony, no child support. She thought she'd still get the house, the cars, the savings. Instead, she got debts in her name she never realized she'd signed for. The vacation home? Sold 6 months earlier. The investment account she planned to empty? Closed. The funds? Gone. The kids didn't understand. They hated me, clinging to the poisoned words she fed them. It hurt, but the truth was they weren't mine. I vanished without a trace. No forwarding address. No way to find me. I left the country under a new name and lived quietly. I didn't watch from afar out of longing. I watched because revenge is best served cold and in public. 3 years later, I set the final stage. I let a lawyer find me. By then, she and Daniel were married and the kids were in college. Tuition Daniel could never afford without my money. They wanted to talk. We met in the very same hotel ballroom where my marriage had died. I arrived early and sat where they could see me as they entered. They looked older, worn down. Guilt ages people. Daniel spoke first, not even sitting. Where's the money? My smile was small. Which money? She slammed her hand against the table. You stole from us. Stole. I leaned forward. You mean protected from people who were never mine? I slid 3 envelopes across the table. The first contained paternity test results, dated years before I left. None of the children were mine. The second held documents proving the offshore accounts, untouchable to them. The third, photographs from that anniversary, capturing their laughter behind my back. Daniel's face drained of color. Her lips trembled, but no sound came. And my children, for the first time, they looked at Daniel differently. You thought you could take my life. I said quietly. Instead, I took yours piece by piece without you noticing. I stood, my parting words cold. Enjoy paying for the rest of it. As I walked away, I felt clean, not happy, not sad, just free. They had spent 3 years imagining I was broken, hiding in shame. In truth, I had been living well, untouched. They were the ones drowning, financially, emotionally, socially. Every door they thought I'd opened stayed locked. People think revenge comes from rage. It doesn't. It's patience, precision, and letting them believe they've won, right until they realize the ground beneath them was mine all along. Do I regret it? No. My only regret is letting them close enough to believe they could ever get away with it. Plus.